This is as close as it gets to a royal flush in America. Super close.
We've got to cut through the noise.
Who better than to provide comedic relief in the midst of these uncertain times than top government officials? I mean, I can't think of anybody more fitting. If you don't know what happened, we're going to talk about the flush heard around the world in a couple seconds. But before we get into that, do make sure that you're subscribed. Make sure you have all notifications turned on so that we can continue to put very serious commentary out on subjects such as this. If you don't know what happened, due to social distancing measures, the Supreme Court has been hearing cases via conference call, probably like any other business or officials that, can't put everything on hold. The government still has to go on. We still have to find a way to govern and hear important cases. And so the Supreme Court has been hearing cases via conference call. Yesterday, while listening to a case regarding, it's called Bar versus American Association of Political Consultants. It involves a challenge to the Telephone Consumer Protection Act's ban on robocalls, which I think we can all agree is a great thing. But apparently, some people were struggling to find the mute button because, this happened.
Change these laws that apply to banks. And what the FCC has said is that when the subject matter of the call ranges to the topics, then the call is transformed.
Oh, that's a toilet flushing. That is without a doubt a toilet flushing. The audio from these conference calls, all the Supreme Court justices were listening to the conference call. They were weighing in, and the audio for this call was being live streamed to, anybody and everybody that wanted to listen. And what you just heard from the live stream is the sound of a toilet flushing. And some people were debating this as if it's not obviously a toilet flushing. They're saying, well, maybe it's digital sounds from the call breaking up or something. No, it's not. There is no chance that this is anything other than a toilet flushing. Let's break it down. Okay, before we can get to the who, let's get to the what. This is definitely a toilet flushing, and here's why. First, you hear the handle being pushed. You know that lever that you push when you flush your junk? You can clearly hear the culprit flushing and activating the lever. Listen.
When the subject matter of the call,
there it is.
The subject matter of the call, when the subject matter of the...
That's a toilet. That is a toilet handle being flushed down. There is no debate about this. I don't understand why people are trying to cover up for, we don't know who did it, but we definitely know what it was. And then, we can hear the whoosh, that all too familiar whooshing sound of water rushing in.
Then the call is
to the toilet.
To the topics. Then the
Listen
call
to that.
ranges to the topics.
There is no other sound in the world that makes that sound. It's definitely a toilet flushing. So now that we've covered what it is, definitely what it is, I think the most important part is, I should say the most impressive part is that the attorney who's speaking doesn't even miss a beat. He just continues talking like nothing happened. Oh, like nothing happened, huh? So we're all wondering, who is using the toilet in the middle of a Supreme Court hearing? They're listening to this case. Who is flushing their junk? And more importantly, who forgot to mute themselves flushing their junk? That's what we all want to know. Let's examine the options. First off, I think we all can agree that it was not the attorney who was speaking. Roman Martinez. This is who was speaking at the moment when the flush happened. It was not him. I don't think it was him, and here's why. Because he was literally talking mid-sentence. Okay, now maybe that could be a decoy. Maybe that could be him trying to throw us off his scent. You know, he's just talking in the middle and he's flushing right when he's talking, and he's trying to make it seem like, oh, it wasn't me. I was in the middle of a sentence. Uh-huh. But that might be what you want us to think. Maybe it was you. But here's all the other people who were listening in on the call, the Supreme Court justices. If we're going by age, like who's the oldest, that could be a tell sign of who would forget to mute the call. It's very obviously Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She is the oldest, but during the time of this call, she was actually in the hospital, which some might find cause for being flustered, and you're in different surroundings, you're not at home, you could be easily bamboozled, and forget to mute the call while you go relieve yourself. That could happen. I think I think that's unlikely. Second oldest is Stephen Byers. I think that's his name. He looks like a guy that would just, I'm not even going to mute it. He looks like a guy that would forget to mute the call. You can't even argue that. If we're going to go off of who's been in the court the longest, I think Clarence Smith. He's definitely been in the longest. He's been he was tapped into the Supreme Court by George H.W. Bush. So he's been there 27 years. He could be getting to the point where he's just like, I don't even care anymore. But I find that highly unlikely because he's only 70 years old. He's still got a lot of time left to serve in the Supreme Court. I don't think he's quite ready to throw it away yet. If we're going off of looks, it's just, I don't know what. Something about him just makes me think. Yeah, he's definitely the one who did it. I mean, just look at his face. Let me look up his name. I forgot it real quick. I think it's Antonio, if I'm not mistaken. If I am not mistaken, let's see. Oh, Samuel Alto. Samuel Alto Jr. That's the one. He looks like he would do it. I'm just saying. And once again, I mean, this guy, he looks mightily suspicious. But there is one person. If we are going to make an educated guess here on who made a stinky on a national telephone call, it's got to be. It only leaves it up to one person. Are you ready? This is so funny. It's Sonia. It is Sonia Sotomayor. The Honorable. She's the secret stinker. It's got to be her. Here's why. On Monday, when it was Sotomayor's turn to ask a question, Chief Justice John Roberts called her name, and then there was a long pause. It's about 8 seconds long. Roberts called her name a second time before her voice was heard. She said, "I'm sorry, Chief," before beginning her questioning. On Tuesday, Roberts had to again call her name twice before she came on the line. She said, "I'm sorry, Chief," did it again. What was she referring to? She was referring to the fact that she forgot to unmute herself. If she can forget to unmute herself, she can very easily think that she has muted herself when in fact she hasn't. I'm slightly disappointed, actually, to be honest, because, the thing I want to know is, like, I'm gross. I want to know what was being flushed. Was it one or two? One or two? That's the question. Because who hasn't muted themselves when they're going to the bathroom, if they think they're muted, obviously, because we heard the toilet flush, they thought they were muted the whole time. What if we heard like grunting? What if we heard like them grunting on the toilet this whole time? That would be hilarious. That would be absolutely fantastic. You know, I could say I've seen it all. I would be happy with that. But you know, I'm slightly disappointed that didn't happen. Let me know down in the comments. Who do you think the secret stinker is? I think I'm right. I don't think we'll ever find out, but you know, it's funny. Hey, real quick, if you're sick of being lied to, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Wait, what? You think I just did this for free? You think I just did this without getting paid? That's exactly what I do. But still, watch one of these videos. It'll be good for you.